Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening.
And we're live.
From the dungeon.
Welcome to the Phlarp Podcast, everybody. The Phlarpin Podcast. Woo! I'm your host, North or Jason Smith.
And I'm Brandon Frazier, Davian Alwyn.
And I'm Chris, or Eric the Red, the God.
And our co-hosts today are
David, also known as Arno.
And
Skylar.
So, what we usually do whenever we have a co-host on is we ask them, or at least I ask them a couple preliminary questions, which basically is how long have you Phlarped and why do you Phlarp?
I have Phlarped for about, I'd say about 4 or 5 years probably now. Not consistently, but...
Mm-hmm. We started 5 years ago whenever we were... Okay. And why do you Phlarp?
Yeah.
I think it's definitely, it's something to do, people to hang out with, good friends.
That's good enough.
No, I think
that
community is a big answer for a
Mhm.
lot of people.
That was my answer, basically. Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you
I used
actually
more
have
words,
friends?
Yes, I actually have friends.
Okay, just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Skylar?
I do not participate, but I've recorded some and taken pictures of everything.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
And why do you come out?
I like watching it.
Yep.
Okay, I got a question too. This is just for Arno. What is your favorite style of pizza? You got deep dish, you got hand tossed, thin style. What's your favorite style of pizza, and why?
You ask very subjective questions.
I always ask food questions. I think it's because at heart, I'm fat and I like food.
Definitely deep dish pizza.
Deep dish.
Oh, 100%.
Have you had a good quality deep dish pizza before?
Mm-hmm.
Where at?
Chicago.
Okay. Do you remember what it was called?
No, I do not remember what it's called.
I've had
It's literally in Chicago?
Yeah, it was in Chicago.
I've had Giordano's before, which was pretty special. But I've also had cook at home deep dish pizza that's kind of trash. So the last one I had, I swear, was just mountains of cheese. There was very little sauce. I was I'm literally eating cheese right now with the bread was terrible. It was hard. It was not good. But I've had deep dish that I liked.
Yeah, we definitely have to say that's my favorite. The deep dish.
What was the original question? Do you like deep dish or...
No. It was just his favorite style of pizza.
Oh, style?
Yeah, I think I've grown to
thin or-
Brooklyn style the most, probably.
What's Brooklyn style?
It's like a big fat limp New York style slice.
Specifically limp?
Oh yeah, it's limp. There's no rigidity at all.
Can't say I've tried that.
I've been to Brooklyn. I've been to Chicago. So I've tasted the plethora, and Giordano's, like you, really amazing.
Yeah.
I went there a couple years ago on Valentine's Day. Amazing. But the Brooklyn style, again, like you, I think it's awesome.
Proportionately, it's just perfect.
And they use the real mozzarella.
Yeah.
So it's it's all greasy and everything. And you're just oh.
A lot of it is about the grease. If you don't have grease on a pizza, I don't really want it.
Yeah.
So
Gotta have your greasy pizza, huh?
that's where we're at with that.
It ain't good if it ain't greasy. I mean...
That's an opinion.
Well, what's your opinion then?
No, not that I don't necessarily like a whole bunch of grease on it, but I'm also not very picky, so I would eat it either way, but...
To be fair, we're from St. Louis. We're supposed to like that, cracker thin pizza. And I do. I'll eat Emos, but it's just not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Provel guy though. Like that's like a St. Louis thing.
Yep.
The Provel cheese, and I'm behind that Provel cheese. That shit is good.
We're talking like food.
Oh, yeah.
And North is like,
No, I hear you.
He's like, yeah,
I was gonna say
Tostino's is fine.
Provel.
He's
Is
like,
that
"No."
is that the stuff they put on the square pizzas, emos or whatever?
Yeah.
How they
So
have a
it's
different type
so
of
it's
cheese.
provolone and mozzarella mixed together. Is
Oh,
what it
it's
is. That's
Provel?
what Provel
Yes.
cheese is.
Yeah. Wow.
it's
And
amazing.
Yeah, I'm
it's
learning
really
something.
good.
Cool.
You can actually get it at Save a Lot, can't you?
Yeah, they have it like everywhere now. Like they're
Yeah.
selling like Emo's branded cheese even like at every
Yeah.
store you go to now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
You're all
I'm
in.
definitely not complaining about it. I will say this though, I get pretty heated if I'm anywhere and someone tries to say provolone and Provel is the same thing. I'll like lose it. Like it could be a complete stranger, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. Like I get really heated about it.
Throw
Like,
They're
hands.
just sitting there having a conversation on
Yeah.
which one the two.
I could not even be involved in the conversation. I'm going to make myself involved in that conversation. You know?
You have very strong opinions about it.
I just think some people need a cheddarcation.
Cheddarcation.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Okay.
Everybody should know their cheese.
true. So what do you got today? What are we doing?
I guess we'll just do the normal recap. I have a little bit of stuff that's extraneous beyond what we normally have, but we'll just get through the normal stuff first.
Before
So-
we start that, can I like, I'd like to show our viewers who are watching that we have a new setup here.
Yeah.
I like it a lot better. Sorry.
What are
I
you
don't
sorry
have to-
for?
I don't have to worry about like, ooh, somebody's getting up. I'm gonna topple over. But we have North, and he finally has the true throne of lies. He is sitting upon his throne of lies. It is here. Look at how wonderful it is.
I mean, and to be fair,
At the end, I'll pull the camera off and bring it over here to show you.
it does remind me of a chair that like a vampire would sit in. I don't know why, but like it does give me those vibes for sure.
I think it needs a little bit bigger. If it was a little bit taller in the back,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, when we came in, all he had on it was all the swords. So it looked funny.
I like my chair.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's a
it's
good looking
nice.
chair. I get it.
It's nice.
It's the
I
first
like
thing
it.
you went to when we got here.
All right.
So yeah, I sit upon the throne of lies. Is
sits
that what-
upon
is
his
that-
throne of lies.
Okay.
That's what Eric the Red, the God, says.
Yep. Notice you put that title in there. So
Yep, I sure
you're
did.
I
finally,
noticed you put it in quotes.
You're
Yeah.
finally accepting it. So
I mean,
that's spectacular.
yeah. We just will let it go at that.
I mean, you allowed Sir Ednick to use the title of king.
No, I said self-proclaimed. What's the? You're a
Still-
self-proclaimed God. What's
still-
the difference?
Still a title. Thank you.
Boom.
If I could drop the mic, I would.
So anyway, recap.
Yeah, recap. We have really good numbers today. It was warm, which I expected good numbers because of it being warm. But yeah, I didn't have to bring like the heater today. Wasn't that cold, so it was almost 60. I think 50 something. Had to have been.
It was high, except 50s. I
It
think
was
the high was like 58 or something.
Well, I checked
It was
before when I came
61.
out. It was 61, is what I said.
Jeez.
But I mean, you can never trust the weather, though. So
Sorry.
you never know.
Right on, man. Right on.
So just so everybody knows, we have our fact checker here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll remember that.
Keep
Noted.
All I can see is the back of
on
my
our
head.
toes.
3-degree difference.
I'm sure I'll get the kickback in Eldon later.
So we had Last Man,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and of course Lord Rainwalker won that.
Why, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Can you explain that, please?
Well, in second place we had Heston Iverson.
Of course.
Gee,
Okay.
I wonder.
That's of course.
Of
That is.
course.
There isn't of course there.
I wonder why that happened.
Don't know.
Are any of us surprised?
No,
I'm not surprised
at
by either
all.
one of those, actually.
No. I think third place was
Raven.
Was it Raven?
Yeah.
Okay, because I wasn't sure. I knew it was like either Raven or Gregor.
Yeah, well, it was Raven because I noticed when I. No, I'm not saying anything, but when I went to go look at the
You're saying
standings, because I
something.
was in the bathroom. When I went to go look at the standings just to see, I was like, oh, noted. It was all 3 members from the same clan that placed 1, 2, 3. But I had missed the entire fight, so I have no idea what happened.
Yeah. Then we had the new
Yeah, we played a new game called A Song of Fire and Ice, and it's essentially freeze tag, basically, is a simple way to explain it.
It seemed to go pretty smooth though. Like
Yeah, and it's very low setup, that one is. It allows for smaller teams, which is cool. So
the only like drawback that I really saw is I only one time did I not see an entire team get wiped
immediately
when they got wiped.
Yeah.
So like I saw on the one Sir Ednick got out of there and he had an
Yeah.
opportunity to go like save his people, but they were like
On
they were
him.
on those like the fallen
Yeah, they
people.
surrounded.
They were not letting him get anyone up. But that also kind of points to the other team that was involved that didn't like push that team or anything, because had that happened, I think Sir Ednick could have got in there and probably got some people up.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, the very beginning of that second game, it actually did take a minute for somebody to actually choose to fight.
Yeah, they all kind of stood around looking at each other for a little
Yeah.
while, but
which is why extra experience went to the team that ultimately decided we're going to fight
to
somebody.
break the
Was
stalemate.
that the first two teams that fought each other?
It was Sir.
No,
Yeah,
it was just the
Or
one
just
team
the first
before.
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah, it was
Sir
specifically
Ednick's
Sir Ednick's team,
Right,
yeah.
that's what I thought.
because he decided to break the stalemate.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they had push our team, I believe.
yeah, and I think a lot of that comes down to strategy. I mean, they probably knew they needed to kill Sir Ednick, so he didn't go off and kill some people. But that team should have also known, hey, if this starts going bad, somebody needs to get out of here. More than one, as many people as we can. Like if one person dies or starts going down, fine. Everybody else scatter. Something they need to, which they didn't have time to develop strategies. But I think it comes down to strategy, basically.
Mhm.
That the game itself is pretty solid.
Well, a lot of that strategy has to be improv. Like you notice in the moment, okay, this team's falling apart. Let's push those teams now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to have guys down arms and down all this other stuff. Like it's advantageous for me to push this team that's already broken.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
also
choosing.
s-
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say choosing to strike whenever somebody else too is like you were saying, basically like sometimes it takes it
If they're wounded, now you have to attack.
yeah. So sometimes it might all turn into a big, huge like battle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
with
It should.
a few people.
if people know what they're
living.
doing.
Yeah, I basically was agreeing with that because Sir Ednick was shouting out to his teammates, to people that were losing limbs and stuff like that. You know, they were like, "Hey, he only had one arm. Push him, get them."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're seeing a lot of it out there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Was there and there wasn't any complaints that anybody noticed about how that game works? or
The
anything
only
like that?
complaint, no, there was no complaint about the actual game mechanic. There were some people that were a little upset about losing, but that's every event. You can't win every
Pretty
event.
normal, yeah. Pretty
So-
normal stuff.
It is what it is. I can't do anything about that as a marshal or a mod or referee or whatever you want to call me. I can't do anything about you getting upset
Yeah.
about not winning. So
Yeah, really can't. Other
it's
than
a mindset.
don't get
and I
upset
think-
yourself, but I mean, how often do you
Yeah,
go
I
out there
mean,
and then
I will say
lose?
that it took me a long time to flip a switch, essentially, from getting aggravated about not winning games to realizing that at the end of the day it's a game and why I'm there. That was difficult for me, and I can't expect everybody else to be able to do it that quickly, but I hope that they get there eventually, because it's not about winning. That's not what this is about.
Mhm. And also,
That was quite a sneeze.
indeed, Gesundheit.
You lost there?
Yeah, I lost my train of thought about
Somebody
it.
bring the vampire back. Jeez.
He's too far gone at this point.
I will say that the Midnight Watchers apparently won that.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say the only thing you can do is,
Did they?
like, whenever, like the way I try to look at it is, if I giving somebody a really good roleplay death is as good as receiving one. So like, if somebody fights me and then I figure out they bested me or whatever, and then I, instead of getting upset at all, just go and fall over and roleplay death, it like changes the attitude of the other person way better, so that next time if I get them, they'll be more inclined to not get angry or take it the wrong way and
Yeah.
have a good time and roleplay their death. I try to channel it into my roleplay death whenever I realize, oh, I've lost. If I'm mad at all, I'll just like, if I'm actually mad, I don't usually get very mad, but if I did, I would have just be like, and like made it crazier.
Yeah. No, I agree.
basically.
No, I agree, because sometimes when you're like fighting somebody and you guys are like going over the semantics of, well, I think maybe you hit me here and I think maybe I hit you there. Like, it's just, I don't know, just puts like a bad vibe on it. Like, I just want you to just, if you think I hit you, just just keel over and die, you know?
Right.
And I'll do the same for you. If I, like, there was a couple times a day where I'm not even sure I got hit and I was like, yeah, I'll just go down.
Mhm.
Yeah, I personally, I agree that this week was a lot better with, as I've had a lot of people like with shots. Like I had not seen a couple of shots that I had gotten. They had walked to me afterwards and were like, "Hey, I had thought you had gotten me here, and then you had thought you had gotten me there." So I went ahead and took the death, and I was like, I had no idea, but I appreciate that. And it's gotten a lot better with that.
With people
these past couple
communicating.
weeks. Oh, a lot better.
Yeah.
The only problem I still have a little bit is there are a couple players who like to tell people, "No, I hit you here."
Mm-hmm.
And if we could do away with that behavior, like we would be golden.
I will say I did hear one player. At first, I got onto him because I said, "Hey, let your opponents call their shots." But the way he said it was actually right. He said, "I thought I got you," and then the other person said, "No, I didn't." And he was like, "Oh, okay," and that was it. But he wasn't. I thought for a minute he was doing what you were saying, where he was going, "I got you," but he wasn't. He was actually saying, "Hey, I thought I got you. Like, I'll let you decide." And then when the person just said, "No, I don't think you did," he was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And then I was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I got onto you," but then I realized you were actually doing that right. So not eliminate entirely, but the idea of them telling them that they got them, but at least turn it into a question as opposed to a statement.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
that's a lot easier to take than it is to
No,
somebody
I
just
agree.
telling you,
100%.
gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of people need to realize, like, yes, obviously you want to win or defeat everybody or whatever, but you also got to communicate with everybody, like, I got you there, or did you get me here? It's kind of, you got to communicate.
Yeah, I was watching a few of them where it was close to the amphitheater, and it was like a lot of people together.
Oh, you're clustered up.
And
yeah.
I mean, it was clustered, and it was in the middle of Minion, but it was like, it was really hard to tell. And even me looking from an outside perspective, sometimes it was hard to tell. And so, you guys were saying, "Hey, did I get you here? I think this," and it was, a constant like, "Okay, I'm not sure, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take it." And so some of our players are getting better into the, I'm going to take this, and like with you, it's always, "I'm going to take this," and the other person says, "Okay, I'm going to take this because I think you got me." And so they're getting better, and I appreciate that. And like we've said before, this is only going to help further our game along and make it better. So, that's totally what I'm appreciating from.
Yeah, it's like we all need to get
More
on the same
players.
page about how we, acknowledge hits and communicate what is hit and when it isn't and whatever. So
Yeah.
Well,
it makes the game run smoother for sure.
that too. Yeah, it's making people
Oh,
actually be.
oh, he's special.
Yeah.
I'm quite comfortable. So
Well, we bet you are.
Do you need a footstool, sir?
No.
Do you need
when I get too far along, I'm going to use Brandon's knee as a.
do you need Arno to massage your feet?
Yes,
Oh,
actually.
I actually will not do that. After I
We're
see
talking the
way
other
you were
day.
Playing around,
You haven't seen these feet yet.
I don't want to.
They are on feetfinder.com for anyone interested.
We were talking about that the other day. I was like, man, if I could pay my rent,
Actually,
I guess you'll have to find out.
I definitely will not be checking, but
They-
I'm
they-
not sure
I mean,
you
you
could.
seem
do it.
pretty
I'm sure you
interested.
could do it.
You seem pretty interested.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, does he have a?
You see
like-
some guy with painted nails smashing up raw hamburger. That's me.
Oh no.
You got to do anything to pay your rent.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes of that payment
I
rent.
get it.
As Pice would say, $5 is $5.
To be fair, you could pay your rent and then you also have meatloaf when you're done.
Yeah.
That's Already grabs out.
Wonderful.
Just add your seasonings and everything.
Yeah. We had a bit of campaign today, which
That campaign was
that
cool.
actually surprised me
awesome.
today. I was actually excited about that.
Yeah, a few people came up in the middle of it. They're like, "What are they doing out there?" I was like, "I don't know. It's campaign. They're just killing each other." Just out there. For people that don't know the term, when we say campaign, that it's kind of like a free roam on a game where you can do whatever. You're not necessarily playing an event.
It's like open world.
Yeah, or
Yep.
open world. That was the term I was looking for. Where you're, and well, I guess free roam kind of works too. But either way, yeah, it's like that. And then so you still have the same basic fight mechanics, and the res point still works like normal. But one of the only big differences is you can loot people, which you can't normally do that in games. There are a few games you can, but most of them you can't. So
we had one.
And we played Minion.
and there's no incentive, like when you're fighting a campaign. There's no real incentive outside of conflict, personal conflict with There's no incentive, like there's no winner or loser, I guess is what I'm saying. So it's cool that when people engage in campaign like that, because they're just doing it to be able to engage with each other, which is pretty cool.
Right. You're also like creating enemies and stuff like for like future potential wars or Battle for the Crowns, whatever you want to call them.
And I actually played when I played in that today when I tried to play specifically in campaign. I was doing that on purpose, like what we were talking about that one time about how we can try to increase roleplay. So that's why I got out there, started talking in character, and like doing a bunch of crazy roleplay deaths and stuff.
I'm gonna be honest. When you were out there,
I didn't
you
ha-
started walking down, and I started telling everybody, I was like, "Hey guys, everybody, North's in campaign right now."
There was like 3 or 4 or 5 people that just immediately picked up the
Oh, there was
weapons and
more than
started
that.
charging.
When there was the initial push, like that was basically because I said that. There was like 10 people that stood up and just ran out there.
They had to get the magical items, yo.
It was awesome.
I had a few
Even though we
for
didn't.
a minute, yeah, and then they were all gone
even play
pretty
Scrabble.
quickly. But no,
But yeah, then we ended up playing Minion. Pius won that.
Yep. That was good.
It was a long Minion, but it was
Very.
it was a
fun.
crazy long.
It was
video.
fun though.
That was almost. I want to say it was almost an hour long.
Yeah, it was really.
I mean, I
long.
had a good time doing it. I mean, for me, that's all that matters. I don't really care if a game's too long as long as I'm having fun playing it. And I
Yes.
think most of the people were having fun out there. The only thing I can say that and this is kind of back on our topic about roleplay deaths, there were a couple times today I was specifically guilty where like I almost always roleplay death, and I'm like really obnoxious about it. There was like a couple times today I was killed like standing in that mud pit in the center. And I was like, yeah, I'm not getting down in that. I'm not like I'm dead, but I'm not roleplay death. Like this is not it. I don't want to be covered in mud for my trip home.
I
So-
feel like
I did get in the mud.
I feel like everybody plays a lot better and they go with it a lot better if you two go in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I saw, like, there was one game where everybody... What's the word?
I mean, you're gonna have to give us more context than that.
Well...
I can give you a
was
lot
it-
of
Was it
words.
one of the
Penguin,
games?
No,
monkey.
everybody...
giraffe.
Barbaric.
Pillow.
Or were any of those the word?
No.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, like...
Was encouraged, maybe? Was
There
that the
you
word
go.
you were looking for? Like
Everybody's
encouraged
more encouraged.
Inspired.
or inspired, yeah.
Now you're just giving me words to...
Or motivated.
Anyway.
That's what you asked for.
Motivated.
You're
Everybody's
asking
more,
for words.
everybody's more motivated when you guys go out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably true.
I had somebody tell me that afterward. Say that
I saw that.
specifically when I went out there.
Oh, is that what they
Yeah,
said?
specifically.
Again,
We
Well,
said why.
listen,
Start of
I've
lies.
heard some people say some things, okay, about
Yeah.
that whole topic. I mean,
Yeah.
we shouldn't get onto them on here, but maybe it's not as good as you think it is.
Good as what is what?
What is what?
What
Good
is
as what? What is as good as I think it is?
I can't even explain that to
My playing?
you know?
I mean, if you
I mean,
Well, you already
yeah,
said,
I
you
die a
already
lot.
Said what you
I'm-
said, so you
if
gotta
you want
say
to call
the
it
rest.
that.
I said what I said.
Yeah, so now you gotta
I don't
Yeah.
gotta do anything.
do it.
Let's be very clear about that.
You heard what we said. Yeah. How many people used our code word today?
Like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe 6.
I will say that for the first time, Serednik came up and he had
And he used the
the
correct word.
correct word.
Good for him. This poor boy. He's got a list.
He does.
On his phone
He
of
was
like,
like-
every code word from every podcast we've ever released, and he'll like come over and be like, is the code word, and he'll like read off every single one, and it was like last week or the week before, and I'm like, no, none of them are it, like none of them. And he's like, I guess I don't have this week's, like, I don't. But he's always like the first to listen to it, like he's always
That's
listening
true,
to it like
yeah.
right when it's dropped. So I know he listens to it, and he just forgets.
Wow.
Which, to be fair, I forget the code word by a week sometimes too. I was
Yeah.
prepared today, though.
I wasn't. I had one player come up and be like, what
I was shocked today. They'd be like, "Oh, I was shocked to
They
find
said-
out." A lot of people did it.
They
Yeah.
said something like that. It was like, I'm shocked to
Mhm.
figure something out.
And sometimes they're like just
I was
sly
like,
enough that you're
"What?"
like, "Shocked about what?"
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah. I was prepared
like,
today, so I
wink,
wasn't
wink.
surprised.
And then I was like, oh, the code word's in there. And then I was like, which one of those words is the code word. Because I was trying to figure out of the phrase, like,
That's
is it
funny.
a phrase or what? And then I remembered it was shocking specifically. So
I
I mean, so we, I don't even know what her title is exactly, but Mercer Stitch.
she's the town merchant.
So the town merchant, she brought meatball subs today and like a vegetable spread
Fantastic.
and a bunch of brownies. Like she was
Mhm.
awesome today. That was
And
fantastic.
Sugar-free brownies.
Yeah, sugar-free brownies for us that can't have sugar, you know? I mean, we can, but it's a bad idea. You know?
Very bad idea.
this is very considerate
Yeah.
for her to bring
No,
the
I
sugar-free
agree.
ones.
I like ate one out of obligation just because she brought sugar-free brownies. So I really didn't want to eat it all today. But
I actually went out of my way to give her a high five.
yeah, he did. While in the middle of me trying to talk to her about something, but it's fine.
Well, you know what? It was just a, you know.
I don't. But
I not that it really matters, I guess, but I forgot to donate to her too. Did anybody else
Ooh.
donate any money
I
this
mean,
week?
I'm going to be honest. I donate $20 every week to the food fund.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
forgot
even when
this
I
week.
don't eat
Yeah, I
the
usually
food,
do
I
5 or
still
10.
donate 20 every week.
I forgot to donate last week, but again, I had so much going on my mind that I didn't. But this week I did, so I try
Cool.
to make sure that I donate. So
Cool.
Well, if you have to give, do, and if you don't, don't. Like it's
Mhm.
that
I
simple,
mean,
and that's
yeah.
kind of what
Yeah,
we
for-
set up. Is she said, I'm going to
Okay.
feed everybody every week with whatever donations you guys give me,
Mhm.
yeah,
and I really liked that concept.
Mhm.
And so even if I don't like what she's going to make, I'm going to donate at least $20, and I know everyone's going to get fed something.
yeah.
At least if she's there.
Even if it's crappy
She said,
jambalaya.
yeah, she said even if it wasn't anything, she'd be peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or
I
something.
Yeah,
mean,
if
yeah.
she made very
I
little
love
money.
peanut butter and
Yeah.
jelly sandwiches. Don't
Those
threaten
are
me with a good
fantastic,
time.
Right?
Yeah, because before she was charging per plate or whatever
Per
serving,
bowl
but
of whatever.
yeah, now everybody gets to eat as long as she's made enough money before, and even then people still get to eat. They just may not eat as well. So,
Right.
True.
Yeah,
which
it's
is a
like-
really cool way to do it, actually. So,
No, I agree. I really see one of my favorite things about Phlarp in general is the community aspect that we have.
mm-hmm.
I would go out of my way to do anything for any single member that we have. I
Right,
promise.
it's absolutely
What was it?
caring.
It was 2 weeks ago, or last week, I guess. Rose was saying that she needed plastic bottles. Okay,
Mhm.
so I went to my house, and I'm gonna be honest. I drank a lot of like Powerade and Body Armors and stuff throughout the week. Like I just drank a lot. I know I do. It is what it is. Anyway, but I had like a massive amount of bottles, and I had to go and rinse each single one of them out with water and do all this stuff. And at the end, I had like a trash bag full of plastic bottles.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna take them to her. She needs them.
Mhm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And but I would have done that for anyone. Like
Yeah.
I don't really know Rose outside of LARP. She's a LARPer, and as far as I'm concerned, if she needs help, I'm glad to help.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really like that community aspect when it comes to the food, because I don't know what's going on in all these other people's lives.
Yeah.
Maybe they need that meal,
Yeah.
Yep.
and so that's important to me. And so I really appreciate Jessica or Mercer Stitch doing
Yeah.
that for us, because I think it's something that is really good for us going forward, and it's
Kinda
something that I want
above and
people to like
beyond.
spread. Like, hey, we're
Mhm.
doing this like community style. If you're hungry, come get some food.
Right.
I think it's also more of like a motivational kind of thing, that no matter what, they can still come every Sunday, and they're going to be fed. They don't have to worry about, dude, am I going to have to go out there and battle, and I'm hungry, or I'm,
Oh, yeah.
whatever. It's like,
or not having the right equipment, or
yeah. I
you
mean,
know.
we try to make sure that we have loaner equipment, we have
True.
meals. If somebody
That wasn't
doesn't-
always a thing. Just so
Yeah.
you know, there was a time when we had to bring out our own weapons. We had to bring out our own coolers with drinks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, so we've evolved
Yeah.
a
Right,
lot
yeah.
since the beginning, and it's something that I'm really proud to be a part of, because, like you're saying, somebody can come out. They don't have to worry about bringing water. They don't have to worry about bringing food. I mean, even if they get cold in the wintertime, we now have a heater for them.
Yep.
I mean, we're removing all the excuses that people have to not come out to LARP every
Yeah.
week.
Where all you got to do is basically want to go and show up,
Yeah.
and everything else is taken care of.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, I mean, we have to give his props,
I mean, he's got his props this week online.
He
know?
did, and you did.
Yeah, I don't know who's posting all these. Is this Rand?
Rand.
Rand,
Okay.
yes.
Well, thank you, Rand.
Thank you.
It's very
Yeah,
nice.
I appreciate
Oh,
it too.
I seen that this week, and I actually, I thought that was really amazing.
I will say this.
That picture of me, man, from 12 years ago,
Yeah,
whatever
I
it is, I look like a little kid. It's crazy.
I mean, I look like a whole different person too.
Yeah.
I haven't posted it yet, but I also have that video of you it'd be interesting to post this video, the video of Raptor Jesus. Whenever you and him, he's in it too.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good time, man.
When
Old
we-
Raptor Jesus. That was a good memory.
The other day it came up on my memories from a long time ago or whatever. Like basically every day I get an email from OneDrive showing me all pictures that I've taken in previous years on that day. And it was one of those days that I looked at
That's
it and it was
fantastic.
you
I
guys.
love
I think my
that.
mom has
Wow,
that same
cool.
thing.
So,
on her phone.
Oh,
so
yeah.
check this out. So, just to tell a little bit of a story, we were being really goofy with this thing called Raptor Jesus, which is whatever. We knew we were being goofy. Okay.
Mhm.
And at some point, a bunch of us decided to go to Walmart and we bought these T-shirts that just said Jesus across it, and we took like a big marker and wrote Raptor above it. And we were like going to Steak and Shake and stuff like after LARP days in our Raptor Jesus shirts. And everybody
Nice.
was like
Just
doing like
dressed
fake
up.
claws
Yeah.
and well, it was a lot, but you know, it's one of my favorite memories of just people acting goofy when you can because we're comfortable with each other and whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really happy with the way things are right now.
Mhm. Good memories.
Yep. And we also
More to come.
we
And also, just before we move on, hang on. Just before we move on, go ahead. You can dumbass me. I want to say one more thing about you. You were saying that you help people out too. You also were gonna give me. I think this might have even said this on the podcast that you were gonna bring me that movie, The Last Dragon, and then
Yeah.
you couldn't find. Well, you did know where it was at, but you didn't want to have to go get it.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
And so he basically just bought me another copy, which was really cool. Like, I mean,
You can have it.
obviously, and I freaking fell asleep in the middle of it
I was
anyway.
gonna say,
So
and you still haven't watched it, have
Yeah.
you?
No,
what
I have
movie
not.
is it?
The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon.
It's basically a black adaptation movie of a kung fu movie from 1985, and for me, it's like comedic gold. It is very funny, and then like there's like some serious parts too, but the serious parts aren't like obnoxious in a way that makes you not like the movie. So for me, it's a really good movie. Maybe not everybody else likes it as much as I do, but I love the movie. And to be fair, like North really likes Kung Fu Hustle. It's like one of his favorite movies. I didn't like it,
Right.
but I watched it. I mean, you know.
You didn't fall asleep halfway through.
I
right?
did. I'll be honest. I did take several breaks. I was like, "Oh, that's been 25 minutes." Pause. Like I need to like reset. But I never
stretch my
fell asleep.
legs.
No. And I paid attention to the movie as I was watching it as well. I had to almost because, like, you know, there's a lot of subtitles and a lot of reading involved.
There's a lot of work.
Did you not get the English dub? or
No,
whatever?
I did, but it is still kind of hard to follow some of their accents and stuff. I still put the subtitles on. I'll tell you that.
If you watch the English dub and listen to and read the subtitles too, in my version anyway, they're like
Different.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's sometimes just like like language barriers. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
there's
all-
literally
it's
not a
all-
word for this in another language.
Right, right.
I can't follow subtitles.
A lot of animes are like that if you watch them and
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I'm dyslexic, so my brain's slow, and I can't read it fast, and it goes really fast.
Before it goes away, basically,
That's
like
fair.
a,
Yeah.
you know.
So I can't.
This is one of those just don't say anything situations.
you just
You just smile and nod, buddy.
Wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave.
But anyway, so what were you gonna say?
I don't know. You cut me off, and now I can't remember.
Come on.
It was probably a lie.
Well, it was something. You were gonna say it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we were talking about.
I was keen to hear it.
Punish me.
Well, I
now, huh?
appreciate you, Arno.
I appreciate you.
Anytime that you do show up,
You know, majority of the times it's mostly just trying to make it out.
Bro showed up in a sleeveless like muscle shirt today. I seen you over there. You're shaking.
Dude,
Yeah,
because like
he-
when I walked out the door, like
So
when I
that's what we're
first
going to
got
talk
up,
about,
it was-
not the man bun. just to be fair.
Okay. We can talk about the memo in a second.
yeah,
but
hold on.
It wasn't
Can
cold
you just move back
outside
for a
at
second
first.
so our audience can see
Is
the
that
terrible
a man
bun?
bun? That's
Hey,
more like a
I see
man
It's whatever
like.
she put up. I didn't want to wear a beanie because it felt nice outside. So, and I don't like wearing hats because I feel like. it
So you
ruins
haven't
your
looked
hair.
at it?
Yeah, she put it up and I just went to town.
You know, like when little girls get their like little pigtails
Yeah,
done before
yeah,
school?
yeah.
Yeah, and they get like a
Right
water
there.
fountain looking thing.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what that looks like.
You should just go ahead and pull that
just-
little piece out.
I just feel
that
like
way
I
it-
would have sweated with the beanie
just
on, and it would have just
right
sweat
out,
all over
yeah.
my face and head.
Yeah, there you go.
know?
I mean, to be fair, why did you need a beanie?
Yeah, pull that
or
part
something?
out.
Why
I
didn't
just-
you
There
just
you go,
let
there
it
you go.
Well,
loose?
because it's like it would have got my eyes,
Now he's a samurai.
and then like I feel like I would have like done something.
I mean,
goofy
it's
and
so
fell.
much worse than it was now.
Oh, that's
it?
perfect. Nah, that's perfect.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's
Well, as
super
long as
rough.
it's like what it needs to be, that's all.
Now it looks
You
like
just
the
need to
top
put
of
the
one of those
sides.
metal helmets.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anyway, get roasted. So, was there anything else in the recap that we needed to take care of?
No, I guess that's it because our
No.
friggin' minion game lasts 3 hours. So
Yeah, that
I mean,
mini
it
game
was a little bit long, but I had a good time playing it the entire time. I just
I didn't see anybody quit at all until the end.
Yeah, I just kept telling, like, when I would, like, be on somebody else's team, I'd tell my, like, masters or whatever, but, like, they'd be like, all right, well, let's charge this guy. And I'd be like, all right, well, I'll get over there as quickly as I can, but there's a mosh pit here. I gotta, like, I'm not running in this.
It looked like a bunch of horses went around that yard.
I know, it was a mess.
yeah, it was really muddy today for I
Some
guess just
reason.
because the moisture hadn't had a chance to dry up from the sun or whatever.
There was a little patch, like, down towards the amphitheater that was okay,
was
but
bad.
outside of that, yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, I want to point out that I told him to wear his boots this morning
Yeah, he told me
because
that,
it was
too.
muddy.
I literally
and he
roasted
goes-
him as soon as I saw the shoes.
It's not muddy. And I was like, okay.
Well, it wasn't when I
So
walked
let him walk
outside.
out.
Listen, I gave him the same trouble. I literally said, it's this muddy outside. Like, what was the point of me giving you boots?
Well, I didn't know it was muddy until we got there. And then,
And
you
then
know.
when we got there, he goes, "Can you go run to the house and get me my
That's hilarious.
my pullover?"
I 100% did.
That's like the definition of, babe, I was wrong.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know. I mean, I did.
And then I brought his boots. He didn't ask for his boots, but I brought his boots. And he
Yeah, I was
goes,
gonna tough
like,
it out.
I was like, your boots are in the car. He goes, they are? I was like, yeah. They're in the car.
Yeah, I'm
That's
definitely
wonderful.
glad. I don't think I would have had shoes by the end of the day.
I will say there was one point, I forgot what battle. It may have been in the middle of campaign, but Heston lost his shoe. Really? Yeah. He went to take a step. He's like, whoop, right out of his shoe and just stuck. It's like,
That's why I like boots.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to see any good plays of the day?
Every person I killed was.
Did you kill anybody? That's the
Yeah, I
question.
killed Aridin and Pora once. That was pretty cool. I think. No, it was Cage. It was Cage. It was Cage.
He's just talking about himself over here.
Yeah, and so I think I should get it.
So I will have to say that in the middle of Minion,
You made a good block on that throwy weapon I threw.
Yeah, that was sick.
what is Caden's new name that he's using? Like Beckett or something?
Beckett, yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
it.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so with Beckett, he's using the bow,
Yeah, he actually was pretty good with that bow
He
today.
actually was. Yeah, he was going off today with it.
and Yi Futin had a bow.
Also had a bow.
Well, every time Yi Futin, he was just shooting out of nowhere. Beckett would run over, get his arrow, put it in there.
Yeah, he had like a full quiver of arrows, and no one else had any arrows.
Futin had one arrow the whole time. He's like, "Hey, Futin, count your arrows," and he would just run off.
It was pretty funny. I actually, and it may have been him as well, Beckett, or formerly known as Lucian, whatever. At some point, there was a big minion fight, and somebody had an arm missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was him, it could have been Yi Futin, but one of them shot that person with the arm that was already damaged and hit them in that arm again. And
Oh,
somebody,
I had seen that. I
yeah,
had
somebody
seen
was
that.
like, "Oh, you're armless," and I was like, "No, they're dead."
Yep.
Like he hit the damaged arm. It's done. Like,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that." I'm like, "Yeah, that was a sick shot." Like, it was pretty cool.
I want to say it was Beckett.
I think it
because
was too.
He
I just
was-
can't remember exactly.
And he kept running around me. He's like, "I'm gonna use you as the shield." Don't do that. I'm just a video operator. So, but he was on his game today, and I'm glad to see him back after him being in the hospital. I asked him about that, and he said that before he wasn't taking care of his body, he wasn't doing what he's supposed to, and he said he's been out for. I think he got out of the hospital Wednesday, so he said that he's doing a lot
Which is
better.
kind of crazy because as far as like what I've seen him eat and drink, I've never seen him drink anything that wasn't zero sugar.
Yep.
And I always see him like with like fruit. It's not like he's eating like crazy bad things for him. So I feel bad for him. But like I think somebody said he was under like 50 sugar level. Like that's
Yeah.
really scary.
Yes.
I'm definitely glad he could make it out today. Then that was a good thing.
Yep. I said that it was good to see him out here today, and he was running around healthy,
Yeah,
doing good. So
looked good.
it's good to see him back out.
I agree.
So what do you think about getting into this whole suggestion box situation?
Oh,
I mean,
I'm excited.
we
for
know what's going to be
that.
in
I
there
am
for the
so
most part.
excited.
But
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a bunch of troll.
No, I just I
No.
think there's just one problem that needs to be fixed.
I think it's a major problem that needs to be
a
fixed,
major problem. Yes.
addressed,
okay,
fixed.
we do need to say this too for the new people. So we tend to like spread out some of these. If it's not appropriate for the podcast, just don't read it. If it mentions anyone's name specifically, don't read it.
Yeah, that's
just
what I
slide
mean,
it to
that's
one of
kinda what I
us,
thought.
Like if it's like mentions somebody's name and it's
like Sluffin' Hits
Yeah.
or,
Yeah, kind of.
or whatever.
No, 100%. That's what I thought.
If it's somebody saying, "Hey,"
yeah.
If it has your own name on it, don't
Always
try to
gotta
hide
proof
it. Just give it to us.
No,
We'll-
I would. Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. That is good to know.
That seems like there's a good stack
that's a good
today.
one.
And then I'll pass around.
Take one down, pass it around.
Okay. I got a good one to start on.
Okay. What do you got?
So this comes from the player who was talking about challenge. They want challenge to either be changed or modified in some way.
I'm just going to start putting them in stacks that's all about the same thing. So,
But he also has suggestions this time. So instead of putting and he did talk to me a little bit. I should have. I think we ended up getting sidetracked essentially instead of addressing the thing he was saying a little bit. Like maybe we could have addressed it a little bit more because he did have a suggestion about how to make it work
Focus
instead
all
of
in the same
just
category.
oh my god. Instead of just here's a thing I think needs to be changed, he actually tried to
Are those
provide
more?
solutions. No, those are all mine. I mean, yeah, they are, but you can get the whole ones out of there if you want, but I want the rest.
I just want one.
Oh. All right. Well. So the four, these are, so is everybody listening? This is the level 4 ability challenge for paladins. This is just suggestions that we can maybe talk about or we can get back
he's
to
got
this
like
one. But
more than one option.
yeah, so this is his suggestions about possible solutions. Can't deny it, but you have to swing and connect. I don't know about that one because we did talk about that being a problem for, say, well, I think it could be a problem with a lot of things. So basically
it's too
saying,
strong at level 4 because it's a CC ability. That's the only thing that I would say about that particular.
yeah, I think people would abuse it and use it differently than what it is actually meant to be used if we're not very careful, essentially. And if you can lock someone in to where they can't deny it, you've also made them immune to anybody else interfering with what you got going on, and sometimes that won't work, basically, for a game.
Well, with that being said, like if somebody could explain it to me in another way, I'm not like set on
He's saying
that. Like I feel
that-
like somebody could convince me to like that
he's
more.
saying that challenge, you have to hit their weapon and say it just like any other ability,
No,
but
I
they
understand
cannot
that.
deny it.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just saying somebody could convince me to like that a little bit more than I'm saying currently. I just, like off the top rip, I'm not a super fan of it. What are the other options?
Infinite, even if accepted.
That's stupid.
So make it where you can just use. Well, okay. Why is that stupid to you?
Because you could go around the field
And just keep saying that over and over.
Challenge
Okay.
everyone.
That
on
was what I was wondering too.
Okay. I mean, I understand that people can say no, but like at the end of the day, I mean, I wouldn't. If somebody came up and challenged me, I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna do it. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, I don't think
And then why
anybody
wouldn't you
really
just go to the
say
next
no.
person, the
Yeah.
next person, the next person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing. Okay, keep going. Keep going with your options.
And then
Because
we
I think I
have-
have an idea on this.
Quit complaining about it.
Okay.
Okay. That's cool. Like,
I appreciate that you put that in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave it how it is, but the winner gets a full heal.
I kind of like that. I don't hate that ability. I don't hate that person.
And keep it at
Wait,
fourth
what-
level.
what
It's
was
that again?
challenge.
What was
The
it?
ability's challenge.
Oh, okay. And what was that last?
And the last idea is
And-
leave it how it is, so it's at level 4. Because
Uh-huh.
originally he was saying lower the level or change it, but he was saying leave the level where it is, but the winner gets a full heal.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
I wouldn't be
Because it's a
opposed to
risk.
that.
Right.
It's a risk for him to go up. Let's say he's battling and he goes up and he challenges me
He
or
could just
Rand or somebody
potentially
else.
full heal
He could
someone.
lose, and then the other person gets a
It's
full heal. Like that's, I don't know. I don't hate that
Because
version.
it could go both ways. I could definitely see that being a good idea.
But I would keep it at level 4 if somebody's getting a full heal.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the best suggestion I've heard so far, is that one.
Yeah.
So that may change.
We'll talk about it off the
that one?
podcast.
Oh, is that-
It's an, That's a good one.
I got a cool one here.
That might be.
It says Mercer Stitch is doing a wonderful, great time, lots of role play. So
Amazing.
Awesome.
shout out to our town merchant.
Anybody else?
I have one. It says, great day, love all the role play.
Yeah, I
I
have
agree.
one that said, had a great day. Wish I could have killed North more.
That's fair.
Keep wishing.
I believe it or not, I didn't put that in there.
You should read the one that I handed you.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was.
No, it's not bad enough.
Oh,
I would like to read a couple of mine real quick.
That's the other one.
I'm stupid.
The bigger one.
I got box slot needs to be bigger. I can't fit, not ideal. The cards not fit.
Okay.
Make the hole bigger.
Okay.
Make the hole bigger. Bigger hole. Box hole, no worky, need bigger hole. Make the whole box. Wait, what? Make the box hole bigger. Okay. No.
Here, you want to read this one too?
Oh, sure. We got another one about the same thing. Please use your time wisely and make the opening of the box of suggestions to a size that would be more.
A little condescending at the beginning there.
So that our heroes can utilize it. And this beautiful calligraphy.
I think the word is proponent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another big word for me.
I say,
today.
I
That's
have
bigger
one
than
that
my
says,
vocabulary.
today was fun. Thanks for everything, giving us a good time. Thanks for always giving us a good time.
Cool. We like that.
Yep.
Love to hear it. This one says, with shield being. Oh, go ahead. Did you have one?
No, you're fine.
Good. Well, this one might take a minute. So you can. Is it?
Okay. Well, this one might take a minute too. 'cause
All
I can't
right.
read
Well,
this.
you start
so
talking
it
first.
says address people, duel, welding as a rogue,
Wielding.
Dual wielding.
wielding.
dual
Mhm.
wield. Yep, sure. Despite not having dual wielding until level 3-4.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a good point. And also,
And
this
I
is
did see somebody correct that today. I know you did as well.
Okay. That sometimes we are a little bit lax about our weapon restrictions, but and this is what I told that person today too, is that won't be that way forever. I'm just trying to make sure people have a little bit of freedom, especially when they're first starting out. But as soon as people start getting established into their characters and stuff, I don't think you should do anything outside. And you shouldn't wield any weapons that you shouldn't normally be able to wield.
Well, it gives them that ability to almost leave it like a test try to see if they want to try this out or if they like trying this out or.
True. Which is what, say, like Scramble, King of the Ring, things like that would be for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives them a chance to, like, if they were thinking about changing their class and they had already picked an ability and they'd already picked their class,
Yeah,
and they were thinking about changing classes, the way they would do it would be to play in like Scramble as not your class, and then don't take any abilities because there's no winner for that game. You can
Yeah.
play around with other weapon combinations and stuff. So one point I wanted to make though is that the weapon restrictions are by a couple inches. So if you have like a 41-inch blade, I'm okay with considering that a one-handed weapon, but 42 inches is too much. Like, I know that seems kind of goofy just to be, that much difference, but an inch either way is fine for it to fall still. But if it's a couple inches outside, which several people do have weapon combinations that are two one-handed weapons instead of a one-handed and offhand, which is all you're really supposed to be able to wield as anybody. There's nobody that starts with dual wield now. So yeah, people should not be wielding things that aren't available for some class at first level. And just like throwies, and which was the other thing I think that was.
Yeah, somebody asked me about the day, was a ranger allowed to use throwies? And I
Right.
was like, well, no, who's doing that? And,
Mhm.
it gets corrected. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, that's something we should probably clamp down on a little bit.
Yeah.
Like maybe when they're in line, and I need to be a little bit clearer about when you can stop picking different things, and which kind of would lead me into another point. I was kind of ask you guys what you thought about it. Was there's a character that's wanting to create multiple characters, but doing so is going to make his XP go back down to 0. So it's going to make him stay in the squire position longer than anybody else would if they were a squire, and I don't really want to make that a technique or a
Thing.
strategy that somebody can do so that they don't have to adhere to a particular class. Because I think that has pros and cons as well, I mean, I think once everybody has abilities, it's kind of stupid to just not take abilities or whatever. But my solution was if you haven't at least bought gold once, I don't really want to create multiple characters into the computer for people because I feel like I'm doing more for no reason, essentially. And even then, I don't know if I'm okay with it until they've at least passed a certain, like, level with their one character.
Yeah,
So-
and it could get confusing at a certain point because if multiple people do that, then how are you supposed to know who is and who?
Well, you should know based on their costume and stuff. This
Yeah.
particular
Well-
player, I wasn't surprised. Like, I knew that it wasn't what he's normally there as. That the player that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This player's also basically been there since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even though it is a pain in the butt, I think you just kind of let them do it. I mean,
What I'm
I
wondering
think
is
you
why-
shouldn't let it get excessive.
Why
Like, there should
can't
be
we
4 characters.
just let that person rename their character? Why is he wanting to keep the other character instead of just
I
renaming
don't know
that
the
character?
answer to that question. Did you ask him that?
No,
Well, maybe we do that.
You probably
Well,
could
if you're
solve that up
listening,
that quickly, yeah.
let me know.
Did you have another?
We'll address more, yeah. Well, I'll address that with him when I talk to him. But, okay, so I did have more. It says more story during campaign. That's cool. I can do that. I can work on that.
More story.
Mm-hmm. So instead of
Yeah,
just
like
people idly fighting.
quests and like
Oh,
story
okay.
modes, like somebody going out there and playing an NPC. We've done stuff like that before. We could do it again. And honestly, if you need me for any of that, just let me know, and I'm happy to play a character.
I would
Okay.
also be more than happy to.
Like
We
if it's
don't
a
care.
like if it's a situation, yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, we don't. I'm sure.
But
you
for
don't,
real, if
but-
you need me for something, let me know.
Okay. But yeah, if it's like a situation where they look like they're playing campaign, and then I have something that I want to do in campaign, that I can
Like,
set
do you want me
something
to
up.
wear a satyr head? I'll wear a satyr head.
Yeah, dude.
Alright.
I mean, if
Satyr
you want me to
legs.
run around with,
They can be like,
no
that's
weapons,
Phil's
I'll
boy.
do it.
with
Anybody?
a cooler.
Yeah. With
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a centaur.
Sorry, centaur.
That's centaur.
I get them mixed up.
Think of Phil from Hercules.
Oh yeah.
That's a satyr.
Hercules.
Hey,
Isn't that voiced by Danny DeVito?
Yes.
kind of
They were they were talking about like making a new one, and like people were not saying Danny DeVito for Phil,
Mhm.
and I was like, that's crap. Like he's still alive. He needs to be Phil.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
would be rude.
That'd be
if-
amazing.
It
actually.
should be. Dude, that was awesome.
I think he did a fantastic.
I'm ready for the live action Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually heard a rumor that Anna Kendrick, who is like my
Yeah,
star
you're,
celebrity
like, in love
crush,
with.
whatever, she may play Megara in the new Hercules movie, and that
Oh,
would be
wow.
awesome.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Have you heard
we're
about who
watching
they're
it in
gonna-
theaters now.
Oh, I'll go to the theater to see it.
Have you heard about who did they have they cast as Hercules, or have they even cast him?
Well, this
Or
is all just like
Heracles.
rumors or whatever, but the guy who plays Star Lord,
Oh my god, dude.
Really?
Chris
Are you
Pratt.
kidding me?
yes, Chris Pratt.
Are you kidding me?
That
Mario.
that's who they were talking
It's
about.
a me, Mario.
Oh no.
Oh
He's gonna
god.
play Garfield too.
He
Please,
might.
let's move
You
on.
never know.
You got something else over there?
Okay, so this is actually the one that I said was going to take a minute. Then I didn't read that one. I went to a different one. But so it says with shield being affected by abilities, I think champion warrior should be able to use a shield because it's just a bigger target. Also, hole should be bigger. Love the game, and we should play Jailbreak.
Agreed. We'll
I-
set that
I
up next
do
week,
agree with
assuming
that.
we have the players to play it.
Okay, yeah, we can try that next week. You guys will have to help me remember though.
I'll
Um,
send you a message.
Yeah, because apparently, people putting suggestions in the suggestion box
Isn't working.
is not working for you.
I'm just not fixing it on purpose, so they don't have anything else to complain about.
Well, there was about 85 pieces of paper this week saying fix the hole. You can literally do it with a screwdriver.
I have 2 more that says make the hole bigger, please. Oh my god. Make the hole bigger, please. Had fun, and it was a nice day today. Yay, Phlarp.
Nice.
Yay.
You said 2. You read another one, I'm going to get pissed.
Plus, we got to address this first part of this one. Does anybody? No, go ahead.
We don't
You
wanna
can
get
read-
him mad.
You want to read one more?
Play it.
Oh, here we
These,
go.
these are different. These are
I was gonna
different.
play the aggro music, and then I realized I disconnected it a
It's
minute
all
ago because it kept doing that.
We're
Dun 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 dun. dun.
Okay, no, these are separate. This one's just a shout out to Heavy Heel is on point. We love the snacks.
That's Mercer Stitch.
Yeah, well, they put Heavy Heel.
Okay, but I'm telling you what her name is.
Okay, well, I'm telling you what they put. Know your role and sit over there. I will come across this table.
Boy,
I'll throw this stone.
Boy,
I'm older than you, son.
How much longer we got on this podcast? We'll take some stuff outside.
Oh
here
my
in a minute.
god.
10 minutes.
Oh, you know what? I have my level 2 ability,
What's that?
Yeah.
exile.
Didn't you do
Wow.
that today?
Is it pause?
It's pause, but it's also exile. And I will exile you from the dungeon.
I'm not scared.
I don't think that.
You already used your one exile for
Yeah,
this week.
for the week. So
That's for the week out there. not
And you know what's
Oh,
funny?
okay.
I'm also a level 2 marshal.
you can exile me too.
Good
Let's
if
do
I
it.
wanted.
Let's do it.
So what was the first part of that?
Did I read that more team events with clans?
No. But,
Okay, well, there's that
noted.
one. More story.
Noted.
And this is just the first one that I was wanting to address just a little bit more. So the shield part of that first one. The reason I would say no to that, I would say, in my opinion, is we shouldn't give champion warriors shields just because abilities go through them, because I knew that anyway. Like, that wasn't the reason I took
Right.
shields away from champion warriors. It was because people pick champion warrior for the abilities.
and the plus the shield.
We're basically.
Yeah,
And
but
I'm-
then they take the shield because it's just there. Like,
Yeah.
nobody ever plays a champion warrior and then doesn't wield a shield.
no,
and
that's true. I mean, unless
That
they're
was the point.
wielding some giant pole arm. But I mean, I think the whole point of it was that we had an obnoxious tilt towards warrior in our game and people not choosing other classes, and we had to do something to make them choose other classes. And so, like, I think that was a big part in making that decision, because defender warrior doesn't have nearly the offensive abilities that champion warrior does. And so, like, the understanding that they have a shield and maybe a champion warrior doesn't made sense in my brain, at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Should try to offset a little bit of the
yeah, because
power
it was like
imbalance.
polarizing. It wasn't even so much of a power imbalance as it was just everyone choosing that class. And so I'm glad to see other people choosing other classes now.
Mm-hmm. One class that I'm sort of surprised, I guess there is a shadow priest. We have a shadow priest.
You have a couple.
Is I guess I'm not really surprised, but it did. I found a lot of people were switching to Death Knight. I don't know if that was fortuitous or that same reason, so that they could still wield a shield and they just like those abilities better. Exactly why, but there was quite a few people that switched to Death Knight.
Interesting.
There could be a.
Could be a lot of other reasons, I guess, too. But I guess I was kind of thinking some of that could be because the meta is to pick a different class now, like what you were saying, instead of pick a warrior. It's more difficult for them to settle on something that is like the most powerful class, which really it should be like that. Where you're like, I could pick this class, but it's really not powerful against this specific thing. They should all have that same like kind of drawbacks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everybody would just pick the same class.
I'm going to be honest. So last week we were talking, and
Can you not be honest? Can you just lie?
Yeah, sure.
please?
I love you. You're awesome, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh wow.
I love you too.
The bomb has been dropped.
But in all seriousness, last week somebody came on and basically was saying that they didn't think the rogue class was very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's laughable, because as a player who has really studied the
Shots
abilities
fired.
and stuff like that,
No,
I think
agree-
that might
agree
be
with him.
the best
I agree.
class. If I had like more athletic ability, that is exactly the class that I would choose. Unfortunately, I don't, and I'm pretty limited like fighting, so I feel like I need a shield because I suck. But the reality of the situation is if I had any athletic talent at all, I would choose rogue and I would dominate with rogue.
Logistically, even like logically, the way their abilities work too, some of them it's a lot harder to avoid. It's not like an open fight. It's
Yeah,
I go from hidden to
I have
stabbing
to
your arm.
specifically
and if-
have this ability in order to stop that class. That
Right,
makes
and if
that
you don't have
really
that
good.
exact ability,
and
right.
some classes don't get that
Mhm.
ability.
True.
Warrior,
Just like some classes don't get the ability to take shackles off themselves
yeah, I mean that's a big deal.
or off anybody for that matter.
First off, I would agree that, you're not athletic enough.
I'm not.
Nobody would disagree with that. Okay, so this says, it feels like some clans get biased, unfavorable treatments, such as, I'm going to say it's being split up despite not even winning the previous event.
I mean, I know what this is in reference to.
I'm
and
not
I-
sure what
I think
that's
we should
about.
just move on from this right now. So
I'm not
this
sure
is
what
in
that's
reference to the new game we played today.
Yeah, part of that's my issue. So to them personally, sorry, because I did tell them, if you don't win this one, we won't split you up for the next one.
Okay.
Because that wouldn't have proven.
Sure.
So that could have been my bad that I said that, and then
Yep.
I didn't communicate that to you guys, and then you guys split them up afterward anyway. I did tell them that if you don't win, we won't do that. So.
But you told me to
it's
split 'em
kinda
up.
my fault. So.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I should
I
have
didn't even
communicated to you.
know
Right.
that you had said that. So.
Right. That it was contingent on them winning.
I blame North.
Yeah, I blame me too.
I second that.
Can we get a dumbass moment for that?
Dumbass.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I apologize. That
Cool.
was me.
You're throwing up lies.
Yeah, my throne of lies.
So I mean, is there anything else that we need to discuss while we're here? Do we want to call it now? What do you want to do? I mean, obviously, I'm refusing at this point to watch another movie until
I
my
agree.
movie's watched.
I
So-
agree,
Okay.
and that will never happen.
Okay, well then, movie time.
Okay.
I want movie time. What's movie
Dude,
time?
I watched 30 minutes of it. Again,
Okay,
it was
then
a
watch
shitty-
the rest of
It
it.
was shitty.
Do you not
No.
watch the podcast at all?
But
Fail.
Fail.
then why are you even
But I
here?
will. But I will now.
It's because
I'll
we
catch up.
were picking a movie every week and then trying to talk about it the next week.
I actually like
then
get
I will start
depressed.
doing
Like
that
the last couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, what movie? Oh, I don't have a movie to watch.
Yeah.
I think
but
the movie idea.
I
is good.
could
You should
finish
stick
that
with it.
movie.
Yeah, you
I'll
need to
finish
that
it.
movie.
We'll have to figure out how to get him to still be on board for the movie.
Maybe
thing.
you watch it early in the week and then like transfer the actual movie copy to him, so he's not watching some stupid YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
version
that's
of
true.
the-
yes, it,
That's
it
true.
was atrocious. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
I ain't
I'm
gonna
talking
watch
about
it.
the movie.
If the video,
Nah,
The movie,
wow.
his first 30 minutes of that movie was so atrocious that I would much rather watch Monsters and Mazes.
Oh,
And that was
That's
horrible.
a lie, and you
that
know
was
it.
horrible.
that's bad.
Monsters and Mazes was good, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no.
It was definitely. I will say this.
Was a
It was
Tom Hanks
the worst
vehicle.
Tom Hanks movie I've ever watched in my life.
I've been murdered.
Myrtled. So, which one of our guest hosts would like to pick a code word?
Oh yeah.
Also, we need a question, and we need a good one that is easy to answer in the comments. Not that it wasn't easy to answer, because I think last time it was like favorite memory or something. I can't remember.
I actually enjoyed the things because at least two of the people that commented about me. and that
Okay,
made me-
well then
that-
I withdraw what I said.
it stroked my ego. I felt good about it, and it had some good
I
memories
think
to
it was
draw
a good
back
thing.
on.
Yeah.
All right, so scratch that last comment I made, but we do need to have a question.
Agreed.
Yeah,
and code word.
We need to talk to our editor. Make sure it gets scratched.
Well,
I mean, if this question is stupid, you can say so.
Okay.
I'm not gonna doubt that you won it.
Right.
Anyways,
Sure.
but you can ask.
it's stupid. No, I'm just joking.
You can ask if they want you guys to play in more games.
Yeah, I will say that is actually. Not bad.
I
Because
mean,
I feel like everybody gets in a game more if you guys are playing.
The question for me would be, are you okay with...
There's only certain games we can really play in.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'm potentially taking XP from someone else by affecting the outcome of the game.
Of the game.
I'm potentially
Which
keeping
is why
someone
we
else
play
from
in
getting
things
XP.
like Minion and Scramble.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't really try very hard until I get on a team either. If I'm by myself, I usually die pretty quick.
I had to go kill myself on purpose today because I killed too many people in a row.
And
I
like,
was
oh
like,
man, I'm getting a team.
I was like,
I
you
gotta
guys
die.
just spread out. You're all gonna be free. And I just like ran down the hill and let Rand kill me because like I was like, I got like 7 or 8 people on my team right now. This is too much.
So I guess the question would be, are you okay with us playing in times that
Certain
we would still
games.
potentially take XP away from you as our winning? Like, meaning, if the way we win is by keeping you from getting XP, basically. If that's okay with you guys, I'm okay with playing more. I just,
I'd be okay with that.
and it
because
might
you
be
don't
specific
show up
games,
enough
too.
to get XP.
Oh yeah.
So let us know down in the comments whether you
see.
are okay with losing some potential XP by having us play, if it's worth it, if that like balance is good. And even then, it's only gonna be certain games. But
Let us know.
Yeah.
As
I mean,
far as a
some
co-
of it was before too, is because I played a particular class, and I felt like it wasn't right for me to play when I played a class, because then I would be biased towards that class, which I was. There was a long time that went by before I made verbals for Rangers, whenever really the same thing could be said as why Rangers needed verbals as opposed to any other class. So I knew that I was being biased afterward, especially. I was able to recognize it, but
I think the need for verbals for Rangers is just as important as the need for verbals for Wizards.
yeah.
You can't like shoot an arrow at me and then based on the color of said arrow,
Right.
then like that, they give me no chance to dodge it. Like that's crazy.
It's after it bounces off your shield.
Yeah,
And
and then
they're
they're
like,
like,
oh,
oh yeah, you're dead.
You're just like,
Right.
okay.
Like, but yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I agree.
So I have to be like, that is another reason why I don't play, basically, is because I'm afraid that I will become biased towards any particular aspect, and I don't, like, that's not good. But
Trinity, when you're editing this, can you edit that to him just saying the reason I don't play is because I'm afraid, and then cut the rest of it out?
Yes,
That would be
please,
awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Silence.
100%.
because I'm afraid.
Which, I mean, again, Trinity has been doing amazing with,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
with our editing.
above and beyond.
So
Really, almost, I mean, everybody really that is in our, what I call the Council of Creators, that's just a label, but basically the people that have taken on responsibilities that are greater than that of a normal player. Everybody's doing a really excellent job. So thank you to everybody. Oh, there is one thing I could talk about a little bit. I don't know if you guys would be able to do it, or anybody here would be able to do it, but what I'm wanting to do is get through, because even if you guys can't, I can do it with Isaac, essentially, is I'm wanting to try to get some more exclusive content on Patreon so that people can sign up as spectators solely just for that. And I probably would give it to people that have gold already. So if you already have gold, then, but I mean for people that are just watching, don't really ever going to come out and play. Like, yeah, that may not be a big audience right now, but that's the audience we're going to need to grow to get beyond, to reach the people that are going to come out and play. And in order to do that, like, what I want to do is basically put exclusive content on the Patreon that is available to only people, well, I guess, that have spectator or greater, which spectators are lowest tier, and it's only $3. So, and it would be about like experimental games or some other stuff. There was something that, because me and Isaac got down here the other day and was talking about, like, just kind of.
Well, we talked about like potentially doing like the history of Phlarp, which can get pretty controversial, I think.
Or
a
just-
lot of people don't know that story, and a lot of people probably want to know that story. And I think it's important to tell the story because I think it shows how far we've come as Phlarp and the obstacles that we've gone through. And I think it would make people respect this game a little bit more. At least that's my opinion on it. So,
I
Just
second that.
to give them a little context.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that might be coming soon, basically exclusive content. And I'll try to get with you guys and maybe make it like on a certain fixed day or something like that. That way you guys might be able to make it, but if you can't, then, that's cool. Like I said, me and Isaac can really just do it. I could almost do it by myself, really, because I can just sit down here and talk.
You just don't want to.
Yeah, I just
I
don't.
mean, does
it's
anybody
better
want
to
to
have
do
somebody.
it with themselves? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's better to have somebody that can play off of.
I agree.
I can't remember all the other subjects that we had, but we had talked about some other stuff too. So I don't know. Basically, the point is, I'm going to be trying to get some Patreon exclusive content out soon too. It may not be as well developed as this though, so don't worry, Trinity. You're going to have to do anything basically.
So I do remember what I was going to say before when you cut me off.
Oh,
It
okay.
was a long time ago.
Yeah, I
I'm
finally
glad you
remembered.
remembered.
It's so while we were out
Before you get
battling,
started, let me-
we had a bunch of we had a family that was up where we call
by
our
the-
viewing area.
Yeah, up by the bathrooms. I saw that as well.
And they were up there for quite a while. And Vix went over and talked to them and said, that they can come out and watch and join us, whenever. And so Vix said that they will be out again next week. So
Hopefully that's true.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah, I saw
Awesome.
them over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I play an intro at the beginning, but every Sunday 1 to 5 we're there. All you got to do is show up. Like we said earlier, we got weapons, we got everything you need. Even if you just want to try it, check
Water,
it out. Yeah.
Food, compliments, all of it.
A built-in community.
All and above.
High fives all around.
That's
Brandon
true.
might not give you a compliment. He might give you an insult.
Yeah.
It's the same thing to me.
Yes.
It's to boost your morale.
But seriously, we still need a code word. Anybody got one?
Oh yeah.
Since Skylar gave us the question,
Oh,
that
yeah.
leaves
the
leaves you for the code
So,
word.
The
it has
code
to
word.
be
In
like
an
something
appropriate
you can have a phase
code
or
word,
a phrase
please.
with.
It's skull.
Skull.
Yeah.
Skull?
So SKOL. Skull.
What the hell?
What is-
Skull?
Is that
Like to
chewing
chew?
tobacco?
No, it's not a chewing tobacco.
What
That's
is it?
Skoal, SKOAL.
What is skull then?
It's I don't remember. I don't exactly what it's from, but it's. I've been watching the Vikings, right? And they say that.
Oh, okay.
You
like
said
you're
I
talking
done
about
it-
like the drinking cheer?
Yeah,
Like skull?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's like an exclamation or
Basically,
something?
yeah.
I
So
guess.
I think so. I
That
think
was
that's
rough.
What it is. But y'all just took it way out of context, I think.
I was trying to figure out, like, okay, so if they don't know what the word means,
Yeah,
how are they going to
well,
use
no, I
it? They're
agree.
just
I
going
was
to
gonna
walk
get
up and
to
be
that,
like,
but
I like chewing on some skull. Like, I don't know.
Skull. No,
Yeah.
it is.
And
It's
I
like a
shoot
cheer.
Copenhagen.
It's basically. I believe it is a cheer whenever they're. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you see it majority of the scenes whenever they're celebrating. So
Specifically with mead, I think. So
yes,
make sure you have a drink, or
Make-
act like you have a drink or something.
Yes.
I mean you don't have to have a drink, but
I have plenty
said
of
or
meat
act.
on. It
Or
is
act.
RP, so act.
but you could still act with that.
Just shut up.
So anyway, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep fighting in the name of our capital, Darvishan.
And we hope to see you all next week. Bye.